Just want to try to give you a timeline of the events that took place last night. And before I get started, I really want to show you the killer himself, the one that is responsible for 3 homicides in Manatee County last night. His name is Javontee Brice. He is 28 years of age. He is the one that went on a killing spree last night in Manatee County. So we believe initially that this all started sometime before 9 o'clock when Mr. Brice traveled to the Palmetto Trace apartments in Palmetto, in the city of Palmetto. Inside one of those apartments was his sister and a mother of one of the many children that Mr. Brice has. When he walked into the apartment, he looked at the ex-girlfriend and said, "I have to kill you." Somehow the sister was able to talk him down and talk him out of him shooting this ex-girlfriend. She later told investigators that he was acting very strange, not really sure what was going on with him. At 9:17 p.m., we know that he traveled to the Motel 6 in East Bradenton. Inside one of those rooms was his mother, his mother's boyfriend, and 2 young juvenile sisters. He walked into that hotel room, looked at the mother and said, "I'm sorry." She asked, "What did you do?" And he shoots her 3 times in front of the boyfriend and these 2 innocent young juveniles. He then travels into Palmetto to the 900 block of 26th Street East. One of his cousins was at a cookout at this residence. She's starting to get into her vehicle to leave. He then shoots her at that location. She later dies about an hour after this shooting at a local hospital. We then have him traveling into the city of Bradenton over the Green Bridge. And at roughly 10:04 p.m., he travels to a location in the city of Bradenton, the 4800 block of 51st Street East. This is a residence where another ex-girlfriend lives and her now new partner. He does not shoot or kill the girlfriend, but he shoots and kills the new partner. So at this point, we now have 3 homicide scenes and also an ag assault scene at Palmetto Trace. Investigators are constantly getting information. We know right away that the suspect is Javontee Brice. The family has been very cooperative. They tell us exactly what's going on. We find out that he possibly has another ex-girlfriend in the state of Georgia and that he is now traveling to that state to kill her. We put out a statewide bolo.
These are Vessies. They also make these fantastic waterproof shoes. Not water resistant or not water resistant coating. They are knit waterproof.
Luckily, sheriff deputies with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office spots the vehicle that Mr. Brice is driving. They stop him. He immediately gets out of the car and starts firing upon them. They return fire, shooting and killing him there in Hamilton County. And that's where everything ends. I can't really go into all the details. I have talked to Sheriff Reed out of Hamilton County to make sure that those deputies are okay. They are, they're fine. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will be investigating that deputy involved shooting there in Hamilton County. But that's what we know right now. We don't know a motive, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what set this man off. We don't know why he chose to kill his loved ones. And we may never know, but we're going to continue to investigate. It's a very fluid and active investigation, and we're trying to get all the answers to the questions that we all have. So that's where we're at right now. And I'll take any questions that you may have.
Sheriff, we spoke with some witnesses at the motel. They said that they estimated 20, 30 minutes for officials and police and the EMTs to get there. Do you have an estimate of how long it actually took and why that was, if it did take so long?
No, I don't believe that's correct. We'll give you the arrival time of all the personnel involved. The deputies were, dispatched, and I don't know exactly when we got the call, about 9:17, but we'll get those times to you.
Sheriff, when you talk about his past state, just going through some court records, it looks like he had some run-ins with some mental health and even some injunctions just out of concern.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, just based upon what we can read into now, he had some BOP warrants. He had a burglary with an assault. He had a domestic violence case with strangulation. As far as his mental state of being, I'm not really sure what kind of issues he may have dealt with in the past. We'll still be, investigating all of that.
Can we talk about the last few days? Maybe what have you learned about where his whereabouts, what he's been doing just in the last few days?
Yeah, we haven't really had time to find all that information out. Understand that really the people that are close to him that can give us that information are devastated right now. They're dealing with a mother of several children that is now deceased, a cousin. So they're going through a lot right now, and hopefully we're able to kind of interview them and get some more information on what he may have been going through the last few days prior to this tragic event.
Sheriff, you said the sister was able to talk him out of shooting the mother of his child at the first location. Can you give us any more detail about how that went down?
He just went in there to kill her. For what reason, we don't know. He asked if he could take a shower. She declined. She said no. But I don't know how she was able to talk him down. She seems to be the only one, at this point that was able to do that.
And what kind of weapon did he have, and do we know where he got it?
Yeah, it was a handgun. We don't know where he got it. It was a revolver, I think a 38 or something close to that. So, and that's we're assuming that's what he used to fire on the Hamilton County deputies as well.
And did they? Did he fire back, and none of them got struck?
No, they're fine. He initiated the fire. He came out of the car shooting at those deputies. And Tim, I can't get into everything because it's still being investigated by FDLE, so you know how that goes. But they returned fire, from my understanding, after he fired on them.
I talked to several people who made 911 calls. Are you going to be releasing those calls?
Yeah, we'll be releasing everything as soon as we can.
Can you talk about, too, just looking at his Facebook page, it seemed like on his
With Norwegian, wake up to a new city nearly every day.
Facebook page, he was kind of detailing what he was going to do. There were so many people that were trying to reach out to him. How important will that be in the investigation?
It'll be very important to maybe get some more information on what he was thinking at the time, why he was acting in this manner, and really what he seemed to have an agenda. He knew exactly who he wanted to kill, and he did not have a hard time locating them.
What color roadway that the Hamilton County deputy encountered him on? Was it highway or?
I'm not really sure. Not really sure.
Do we have an idea of the time difference between each shooting and how deputies could have responded, between each one?
Well, I can tell you that the first call in relation to the homicide at the Motel 6 came in at 9:17, right? So that's East Manatee County. That's by the interstate. We then got a call of the shooting in the city of Palmetto at 9:40 p.m. And then we got a call of the shooting in the city of Bradenton at 10:04 p.m.
I spoke to several people at the motel who were saying that they believed that the situation was regarding a custody battle. Do we know if he had custody of his kids or, any situation like that?
Yeah, I don't know how anyone, quite honestly, at that hotel could have any accurate information. Inside that room, it's his mother, his two sisters, and the mother's boyfriend. So none of the children that belong to him were in that room.
How many children does he have?
We believe 12. That's the number we have right now.
Was he by himself when he was going to Hamilton County?
He did have a female with her. She's being interviewed at this time, and she'll be interviewed by our investigators as well. We don't know her relation to him at this point, but she was in the car with him when the shootout took place in Hamilton County.
How crucial was it to get to him before he made it to Georgia? I mean, not only to prevent any more killings, but how would that have complicated the process for you guys if he did make it across state lines?
Well, I mean, I think that the main focus for us is to save a life. If he would have ended up being arrested in Georgia, that's just, procedure. That would not have been an issue for us. Eventually, we would have gotten him back to Manatee County. The main thing is we were able to save that ex-girlfriend from being shot and killed. And I really praise those deputies from Hamilton County and Sheriff Reed for just really being on the lookout for this suspect and taking care of business.
In the midst of the three, though, when did you learn that it was the same person? In the midst of the three incidents?
As we go to each individual scene, as people, investigators and officers get to the scene. So each scene, there were witnesses that gave us the name Javontee Brice.
And so I'm just trying to make sure, like, there was nothing else that could have been done between either of them to get to him before the next.
No, we didn't know where he was at.
Did you know specifically where in Georgia he resided?
I really don't know.
Do we know anything about his past? Like, where did he work? Did he?
No, it's still very fluid, y'all. I mean, we're working on, these detectives have been up all night. We got 3 different, crime scenes that we're processing. Luckily, we have the homicide task force. City of Bradenton is working with us, City of Palmetto. So, this is going to take a while because each scene has got to be processed. We got to be meticulous here.
You know, if the woman was in the car with him for the first 4 incidences?
We believe so. We do believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Are you releasing her name?
Not this time. Any more questions?
Are we able to get the names of the victims yet? I haven't seen any listing of it.
No, we will as soon as we are done with the families and make sure the family's okay with that. Once again, I just want to stress, this family is devastated. So this is going to be a very difficult thing for them to overcome. So we're trying to give them that time that's necessary to process all this information and work with us as closely as they can.
Just lastly, really quick, the Motel 6 area, is there usually heavy deputy police presence there? Is that normally a sketchy area?
I mean, we don't have a lot of calls for service there. We have deputies in that area all the time as part of regular patrol. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if his mother was living in the Motel 6 or trying to escape them and go to Motel 6?
We're not sure. We're not sure why they were living in that room, if they were just staying there temporarily or if that's where they chose to live. We'll definitely be finding all that out.
Has the family had any other complaints about this suspect, like any other calls to police outside of this incident? Do you know of?
No, well, not that we know of. I think that there may have been a case with him in the city of Bradenton at one point, maybe a child custody neglect, something. But once again, we'll have to go back and research all of our calls for service to see if that was something in the past that we dealt with.